Get a £5 free bet every week with Offer Club from William Hill. Simply stake a total of £20 or more across the week on pre-match football accumulators with 4 or more selections, and you'll get a £5 free bet on the Friday. Join William Hill Offer Club on mobile or online now.
I'm quite fortunate enough to be joined by trainer Peter Fury. We're in Bolton State at the Platinum Plus gym. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, James. Pleasure to have you and Coogan here in the Team Fury headquarters. Indeed. Very welcome.
Indeed. Talk to me a little bit about what's going on with Hughie Fury. We saw he was meant to be fighting against Ruiz Jr. That fight fell through. Ruiz not wanting that fight. What's sort of going on with Hughie at the moment?
Yeah, we tried to make that fight for no fault of our own. Ruiz, he came out of that fight. Frank Warren's got the reasons for that. He just said a letter come through and they didn't want that fight, but we move on. He's fighting for the world title with Parker, and we're looking to get Hughie out hopefully in December next month. Is
there any chance that Hughie could be in line to get up that WBO ranking to get a shot at the winner of Parker Ruiz?
I think Hughie's time will come anyway, because he's only one behind David A. So I assume David A will be mandatory. And whether he takes the fight or not, whether Tyson wants to come back, take the fight with his mandatory position. So it just depends, we're just Hughie's just waiting in the wings. So when his time comes, he'll take it.
What have you made of the heavyweights at the moment? Everybody's angling and vying to get positions to get into title contention. What have you made of the whole heavyweight sort of scene as it stands?
Well, look, we're patient. As far as Hughie's concerned, we're just sitting back and letting them all scrabble over it. And when Hughie's time's right, we'll just jump in. He's already there. So it's a case of just keep doing what he's doing. Keep busy, keep treading water. And his time's imminent. He could fight for a world title tomorrow. We just have to wait and see. The fight I'm looking forward to, actually, of all the fights that's going to happen, is Ruiz and Parker. I think that'll be a very good fight.
We've seen, obviously, loads of opponents and fights mentioned for Hughie Fury. You've got no problems and no questions in putting him in big fights. So what happened with the negotiations with Joshua? We know he's struggling for opponents. Was there any truth in Hughie Joshua as a big fight?
Yeah, they offered Hughie a workman's purse. And I say workman's purse because, they're on millions of pounds pay-per-view and want to give us some crumbs off the table. I'm a self-employed man. I don't work for Eddie Hearn. Hughie's a 20-0. He's highly ranked with the WBO. Hughie'd be the best fighter he's faced. So pay for it. If you can pay for Martin, you can certainly pay for Hughie Fury. But Martin, we don't know. Somebody from America who got the title gifted to him with a bad knee. So we've got Hughie Fury over here, a big domestic clash. They didn't want to pay for it, but we said we'd take the fight. They offered us the fight. We said, right, we'll take it. How much money do you want to give us? So we could say they offered us little amount of money knowing we wouldn't accept it. They could say we outpriced ourselves. The fight never happened. So I'm not into the politics. We would have took it, but like I said, the money wasn't right.
If everything is right in the future, do you see that as a fight that has got legs? Do you think that fight would potentially sell?
I think it would sell. Look, we're open. Hughie will fight anybody. He is not protecting his record. Look, Andy Ruiz Jr., he's fighting for the world title, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Who backed out of that fight? It's enough said, isn't it? And Andy Ruiz Jr., like I said at the time, when Hughie was set to fight Andy Ruiz Jr., Andy Ruiz Jr. can fight. I see it depends how Parker comes into this fight. Parker could lose this fight with Ruiz. Ruiz is a young fella, determined. The only thing that's against Ruiz, he hasn't really fought anyone. So we don't know what he's like under pressure. Parker's fought better men. That could be the telling factor in this fight. But looking at the two of them, it's an even Stevens fight, that is.
Do you think Parker would be naive to underestimate Ruiz Jr. on the fact that he has got a strange physique for a heavyweight? He doesn't look like he puts the work in the gym as compared to other heavyweights, but he is clearly fit. But do you think Parker would be making a mistake in underestimating him?
I think a big mistake. I think Ruiz can do the rounds. He's very relaxed, and he's a proper fighting man. He fits his heritage, doesn't he, being a Mexican fighter? And why this fight's so interesting between them two is because I don't see Ruiz getting stopped. He's got that tough Mexican, tough as teak. So he's coming forward and he can fire fast shots. So I think Parker's going to be really, really tested in this fight. And Ruiz is definitely coming to win for Mexico. This is a kid that you're going to have to nail into the floor. So I see a very, very hard fight here.
What have you made of speculation that Lucas Brown could face Let's Go champ Shannon Briggs for the WBA world title? What are your thoughts on that, firstly?
I met Lucas Brown. Lucas Brown's a very nice fella, but I'm a boxing purist. I don't see Lucas Brown as a worthy champion. You know, that's me looking at it. You know, we've tried to make that fight with Hughie 100 times. They skate around us. Nobody's interested in Hughie Fury, are they? You know, I just see him, you know, he's a big kid. I think he's done very well for his ability. You know, but you've got to have that slick movement. You know, I think it's a good fight between him and Briggs. What I don't see is, I think it's an entertaining fight. I'm definitely going to be watching it because that's a fight where it's all about levels, and I think that's a good match for Lucas Brown because Briggs has got the age factor, he hasn't got the speed, and Lucas can bang. You stand there, and Lucas will take your brains in. So, you know, full credit to Lucas, but he's not an elite heavyweight in my opinion.
With the ferocious first round KO percentage that Shannon Briggs has, does that make him dangerous at this age? Because people say the power's the last thing to go, and Shannon Briggs certainly looks like he's still carrying that. Does that make him as dangerous as ever, in your opinion?
Yeah, it does. It could be. I don't think it'd be upset if Briggs won. Briggs is a lethal force. You know, we'd like to have that fight with you with Briggs. You know, it's. You know, these are all the fights that we've mentioned in the past. So, like I said, you know, I see it as a good fight. I think them two's evenly matched. So I can't pick a winner in it.
Let's talk a little bit about Conor Sheehan. Big prospect from Ireland. He's now based with the Furies. How are you finding his development and transition into the paid ranks, Peter?
I like him a lot. He's what I see in a heavyweight. He's athletic. Doesn't rely on power. He boxes. It's just getting him out of the amateur style, which he's coming along nicely to the pro style. But he's a force to be reckoned with. Look, we're trying vigorously to get him for the Irish title. We can't get nobody to step up and take that fight at the moment. We're looking even now. We had some heavyweights in America that claim to be Irish. We asked for some birth papers to prove the heritage. You know, they haven't got it. They're wearing all these stripy shorts, but they're no more Irish than somebody that's born and bred in Bolton. So this is what we get. So, you know, we're going to be fighting. He's with MGM. He's got a great promotional team behind him in MGM. We're pleased to be working with them. Johnny Roy from Preston, sorry. So it's all good for Con. You know, he's 3-0. We're looking for the Irish title already. So for me, if we can't get the Irish title Saturday, he'll have a run out, which he'll be 4-0. And hopefully January/February, even December the 10th, or when we can get Hughie on, we'll shove him on the undercard of that. So anybody that's out there wants this Irish title, please get in touch because we're not picking and choosing. Con's ready. You know, he's 250 plus amateur experience, 12, 13 national amateur titles. He's 27. He's in the deep end, so he's going to be fast-tracked because he's not learning his job. All he's learning is a transition from amateur to pros. But from what's out there, you know, we offered David Allen the other day. You know, the money wasn't right for him. So it gives you an idea. You know, Dave Allen, he's top 10 in England. You know, we'll take that fight. You know, if Dave wants it in December or January, that's money for him. So we'll take that fight. We'll take any fight we can get for him, to be honest.
I want to ask you how Tyson Fury is. I know it's probably not the best time and place to speak about him, but I can't have you here without asking something on the big man. How is Tyson Fury?
Tyson's doing okay, but I'd rather let Tyson do his own speaking because he's when Tyson's ready, he will come out and he'll speak his piece. Until then, I've got nothing to say on it.
I appreciate that, but if I don't ask you the questions, people ask me why do I not ask you, and we're back at you.
But I am sick of talking about Tyson when Tyson really should be talking for himself. And as the time he sees ready, he will speak for himself. But I do know he's doing very well.
Okay, I respect that. Anything you want to add before we go? I mean, can you explain to me about this beard? Where's this beard look come from?
Well, everybody says for Father Christmas, but, you know, things are hard. You know, it's been a hard year. You know, there's no money on the table. So, you know, for raises and all of this, you know, there's just no money around. You know, I've ploughed everything into UCAD. I blame UCAD. They've took my money. You know, so this is where we are. So that's why there's no shaving or anything like that. Back to the caveman days.
Quite finally, David Hay in action as well. We're waiting to see what opponent it will be for him. What do you anticipate David Hay doing in the near future?
I think he's a lethal force. I think now he's joined with Shane McGuigan, you know, they're getting fantastic results. He's a very good trainer. And I think he's right back in the mix, David Hay. I think that'd be a good fight money-wise with Bellew. Maybe that should happen. And I think if they do it at a catch weight, there's no titles on the line, you know, and David Hay won't lose his position. So I think that's a good money fight and the biggest fight out there for him right now. But it's hard to say. What him and his team's going to do. I don't know. He could just sit back, get a run out in December, and fight the winner of Parker and Ruiz.
It's quite interesting, the heavyweight landscape, at how things stand at the moment. Like we said earlier in the interview, everybody's sort of vying for them positions to get that, hopefully that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So it's quite an interesting division as it stands at the moment.
You know, it's an interesting division. You know, I like the heavyweights. We've just signed another heavyweight now. He's called Tom Aspinall. He's a good kid, 6'6", 18 stone. You know, he's experienced in his own right in the MMA and things like this. So we've been watching him for a while. He's been training with us. So you're going to be seeing a bit of him as well. Where
do you find these heavyweights, this conveyor belt of heavyweights that Team Fury seem to have? Do you guys specialise only in heavyweights? Where do the heavyweights come from?
I think mainly because you can imagine putting a welterweight in here amongst the land of the giants, can't you? And, you know, to get in there and spar, what we're going to do? We're going to have a fly swatting up and down with some heavyweights. So basically, I'd rather just stick to the heavyweights because they bring each other on, they spar all the time. So that's my rule of thinking. So I like working with the heavyweights. So it's what I like doing. And obviously, my family's all heavyweight, so that helps. So I think that's the reason, because I've got no smaller guys for them to move around with.
Speaking of heavyweights, how is Big John Fury? He always makes us laugh. Great character. How is he keeping?
Well, I was hoping he'd have been here this morning, but obviously for whatever reason he can't make it. But he's very good. He's humorous, and he's in the gym with us every day. He helps us out here, and he'll be going over to Ireland for Con's fight. So he's in good spirits. He's good.
Good to hear. Well, listen, Peter Fury, I can't thank you enough for having the Cassius Nelder Show in your gym.
Pleasure.
We look forward to hearing some imminent news regarding the whole Fury clan, and hopefully we see Hughie Fury in a big fight real soon. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, mate.